Hello, I'm Amara Jones, and today is Wednesday, May 6th. This is Caffeine TV, your daily news brief, here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. The first number of today is 9, as in 9 days. That's how long ago violence erupted in Baltimore. And that also, last Monday, happened to be Loretta Lynch's first day on the job as the nation's new Attorney General. And yesterday, those two things came together with her visit to Baltimore, in which she basically told the city that it was time to get their act together. Now, the choreography of her day-long visit spoke volumes. She started out by visiting the family of Freddie Gray, followed by a meeting with the police commissioner and with Baltimore police. And after that, she met with community leaders and politicians and religious leaders. And her last meetings of the day were with Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, in which she had to meet with her twice in order to get through all of the things that they had to talk about. Now, ostensibly, her trip was to coordinate the federal government's investigation into the Baltimore Police Department, which right now is voluntary. It was actually requested by the mayor and by the police commissioner to help them figure out a new way to police. But yesterday, Loretta Lynch revealed that she's willing to make that investigation mandatory, in which the city would have to follow the recommendations that she lays out or risk being taken to court. And in all of this, it seems that the two heroes out of Baltimore are the two boss women prosecutors, Marilyn Mosby and now possibly Loretta Lynch. The next number today is 100, as in 100 feet. That's the altitude that GermanWings pilot Andreas Lubitz set on a flight earlier on the same day before the one that he ultimately piloted and crashed. That information was revealed by French authorities earlier today. Now, on a flight between Barcelona and Dusseldorf, Andreas Lubitz changed the altitude 5 times to figure out which one would help the plane descend and crash faster. He did so while the captain was outside of the cockpit, but each time returned the plane to its flight altitude, hoping that he would cover his tracks in terms of what he was doing. All this just goes to show that the crashing of Flight 9595 was planned and premeditated. Now, the good news in all of this is that European civilian ground control did notice the altitude changes and tried to contact the plane several times. But the bad news is that French military aircraft controllers did not and couldn't scramble flights in order to see what might be going on. And all this just goes to show, as we've spoken about here before, that we still have a ways to go before our skies are truly safe. The last number of today is 17, as in $17 million. That's how much the Met Gala held on Monday night, hosted by New York City Grand Dame Anna Wintour, editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine, and memorialized in the movie The Devil Wears Prada might have raised for the Metropolitan Museum's Costume Institute. Now, since taking over the event in the 1990s, Anna Wintour has raised $145 million with it for the museum and has transformed the gathering into arguably the most coveted and star-studded event on the planet, as is evidenced by its continued domination of the headlines in social media and ongoing talk of Rihanna's dress. But occurring just 1 week after the events in Baltimore, the images coming out of the Met couldn't have contrasted more than those out of Baltimore. Of course, as we spoke about last week, Baltimore is a city in which the majority of its neighborhoods have a lower life expectancy than famine-ravaged North Korea, and where teens there have lower life prospects than teens in Nigeria. And of course, it all took place in a city, New York City, in which half of the people live in poverty. And so ultimately, we've all got to try to find a way to bridge the gap between the worlds of the Met and the world outside.